Welcome back to Collectability. Today I'm so excited to show you 5 rose gold masterpieces from the world of Patek Philippe. But first I'd like to discuss what is rose gold. People use it interchangeably with pink gold and sometimes red gold, so I want to give a definition from a Patek Philippe perspective before we delve into the watches before me. First, in order to understand gold, you need to know that 18 karat gold is actually 75% gold content. The remaining 25% in an 18 karat gold watch is actually an alloy. It's a mixture of different metals. And it's the mixture of metals that gives each watch its different color. So I created this little chart to define what rose gold is. And first we need to understand what 3N gold is as the industry defines it. It is 75% pure gold, 12.5% silver, and 12.5% copper. And this is what you see with 18 karat yellow gold. Next, with 4N gold. This is what we commonly describe as rose gold in the industry. And this consists of 75% pure gold, 9% silver, and 16% copper. And you can see there's more copper, which gives it more of that rosy look that we absolutely love to wear on our wrist. And finally, 5N, also known as red gold. This is a much deeper colored reddish tone that you can see on your wrist. And that's 75% pure gold, only 6% silver, and 19% copper. And that extra copper gives it that deep reddish tone. So it's important to know when you're talking about colors why, and it's that secret mixture of alloys that the various companies are using. Rolex has Ever Rose, for example, which is their proprietary rose gold, and Patek Philippe has their various secret recipes of gold that only they use and keep in quiet. So, side note, in the world of Patek Philippe, I've heard many people say that rose gold produces the most beautiful sound with a minute repeater. And this is really true. Whenever I have a rose gold repeater, the sound just reverberates. And it's because of the composition of the alloy. And arguably, the silver and the copper just makes that amazing sound reverberate throughout that gold case. So it's just a fun side note to remember. Now, historically, rose gold was very popular in the world of Patek Philippe in the late 19th century, and it consistently went in and out of fashion and very much came back in vogue in the late 30s and 40s, and also through the mid-50s. Rose gold was the color of choice. So a lot of the most important Patek Philippe historical references were made in rose gold, and when you see it combined with a black dial, it is just the most exquisite vintage look. So with that said, let's look at the 5 pieces I have in front of me. Starting with this first piece, this pocket watch. Now, you could call it a pendant watch. Some would call it a golf watch. But this is a 1920s gentleman's piece, which was meant to hang from a chain. But what's so interesting is the crown is not meant to be wound from 12 o'clock. It's at 6. So you wind it and set it from 6 o'clock. And this absolutely stunning piece has a Goublin signature, and it's a unrestored black dial that I really just beautiful. And I'm holding my breath waiting for the archive for this watch to confirm that it is indeed rose gold. And to my eye, it does have that rose gold tint, but you don't know until you have the archive. Next, and this is one I do indeed have the archive, is a reference 524 in rose gold. And the archive also confirms it had this original black dial. Now these pieces, these amazing asymmetrical pieces, were made from 1936 to 1940, and they were called driver's watches, and for good reason. When you put this asymmetrical watch on your wrist, the way that it angles makes it very easy when you're holding a steering wheel. And lucky for me, I happen to have a steering wheel handy right here to exemplify the point. So as you're driving down the street with your steering wheel in your hands, you're able to glance so easily and know what time it is because of the way the driver's watch in the case is angled from the wrist to the eye. I find this such an elegant thing. It's just such a a really wonderful remnant of not only historical automobile driving, but of luxury. So get your steering wheel out and go for a drive with your reference 524. The next watch I'd like to show you is a reference 130 in rose. Also a very popular reference in the history of Patek Philippe. This particular piece is a staple of chronographs from 1934 all the way through the mid-1960s from the Patek Philippe line. It has the classic Victorine Piguet ébauche, and when you put this watch on your wrist, it just brings back history. And the rose gold and that warmth, the tone of the case, just, it really is a beauty from yesteryear that you could wear on your wrist today. Also, look at the rose gold applied Roman numerals and the dots combined with that two-tone dial. I'm playing in the light so I could see the two-tone of the tachometer. A reference 130 belongs on your wrist, and it's just one of those classics that you have to have. And they're not easy to get. There's only about 130 rose gold 130s in existence, so it's quite rare, and there aren't too many out there. The next rose gold piece I'd like to show you is a reference 2414. In this, I was so excited just last week to get the extract from the archives from Geneva confirming that it was originally born in this rose gold case. And you can see the tone. It could be yellow, it could be rose, so the only way you know with vintage watches is what does the archive say? Because the alloys age differently. Sometimes rose gold ages more to a yellowish tone, and sometimes it ages to a much more reddish tone over time, based on the oxidation of the alloy and whether the watch has been polished or just of how much exposure it's had to the elements. This particular reference 2414 is affectionately called the Topolino, in Italian, the bunny ear, for those distinctive lugs. And for a watch, in this case from 1949, with that architectural crystal, it just brings back this aesthetic from yesteryear that really works. And to have a Topolino from the 1940s in rose gold from Patek Philippe is quite the treasure. And last but not least, I have to have an ellipse to show you, and this is a reference 3738 in rose gold from 2005. We've had these many times before on Collectability, and it's just the classic mid-size automatic. And I just think the rose gold with that brown dial, the autumn gold dial as it's described, is just something that needs to be on your wrist. So that is it for my quick survey of these 5 rose gold timepieces. And I hope you have a new appreciation and understanding of what rose gold is all about, in particular from the world of Patek Philippe. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, also TikTok. And until next time, enjoy the hunt.